This is What If Deku Had Sons Power Part 2. Well, when Bakugo went for the attack, by the time he did land the hit, and it was extremely powerful since he put everything into it. Although it should gave him fractured his arm, but it didn't even make it sore. And this was due to the, let's call it the Titan cloud, because it's like a little cloud with like a head on it, and it was called the Titan Rainbow Gaster Titan or Rainbow Titan, something like that. Anyway, he didn't get hurt, but by the time he hit them and got them off them and they ran off, Deku done hit in the head with a steel-toe boot. And because of this, his skull was cracked. Well, Bakugo's thing was running on a limited power supply at that point, because Deku could no longer supply it power. Because that's the thing, Deku can give them a certain amount, or he can constantly feed them. And that's why he was constantly doing that thing, because he was trying to make sure all his focus was put on him. So any extra power his body could give, it was constantly trying to give it to him. The problem was that he had plenty more left in him. The problem was when they hit him, they knocked him out. At that point, the reason they loaded him and he didn't use his hands is because the whole time all he could think about was protecting Bakugo. So when they hit him and everything, Bakugo in that cloud used the last bit of the power it had to run to pick up Deku, because they was in the park near their houses. No one was there besides them, because they was just like right outside the park, right in the woody area. And them two was walking through there, being, bad people, or bad kids, anything. Anyway, Bakugo carries him to his house, because they're just a little bit closer to his house than Deku's house. They get there, and they call the ambulance. And the problem was, by the way, the only bad thing was that the thing began to dissipate once he got to the front door, because it ran out of power. Well, it would have covered itself in Deku to try to heal him. Well, that's a secret for later, because something they don't know yet. Anyway, when they take him up there, it's almost a whole day before he finally wakes up. When he does, by the time he wakes up, they find out he has a severe concussion. His skull is he's gonna be scarred for the rest of his life, because they had to go back in there and put his skull. Had to make sure it was all together, sew up everything. Like sew or whatever, gluing or whatever. No, gluing. They had to glue his head because it was too late to sew. Because how long he's been set in. Or no, I don't know. You choose. I don't really know. Maybe so. My head got busted out. I got glued shut. That's because it was about 3 hours afterwards before I got to the hospital. Anyway, so, you say he had trauma. So did Bakugo, but Bakugo's wasn't because of what happened to him, really at all. Deku's wasn't that much of what happened to him either. It was more or less the trauma of what they saw each other be put through, especially Bakugo. And Deku had this one ability to connect to others. No one knew this, not even Deku. That's one of the things that allowed him to connect to people so easily. Kids around his age and keep the peace and keep Bakugo calm. Because he was calming him down while taking some of that frustration and venting it out calmly. So it began to put a number on him. So by the time a month has passed, because at the time he didn't keep the cloud out because, well, Bakugo told him not to, just to be safe. So if something happened, he could bring him out of him immediately and just completely surround him. So he thought it was a good idea. About a month afterwards, Deku began to, with Deku, right before a month ended, about 3 weeks in, he decided to start leaving the cloud out, and people started liking it. But the problem was, about a week later, when it was about, let's say, 5 years and 11 months, he had night terror, and his telekinesis ability awakened, and that thing was extremely unsettling, in a sense. Well, not settling, extremely powerful. Everything in their home went ballistic. Deku's and Inko's. And Inko was skinny, by the way, but anyway, she wasn't depressed because her son didn't have a quad. Although nothing hit her, nothing harmed her, anything that almost fell, moved. It was just protecting her, even though it was in agony, moving everything around hectically. Instinctively, it was protecting her. He was protecting her, to be precise. Like his subconscious and everything. Anyway, so nothing happened. He went to the doctor. He went to therapy. They began to take him to therapy, and it happened for about, let's say, 7 months. They take him to therapy once a week, an hour every week for the next 7 months. Although he pretty much got better in that time period. That's when they realized that he was able to feel other people's emotions, and it was affecting him. So he's got to learn to control that if he wants to be a hero, because he still wants to be a hero after all. He wants to be like All Might. Anyway, because that's why he had the night terror in the first place, because Bakugo still felt guilty. Felt, horrible because what happened, that Deku almost died. Because if they would just hit him a little bit hard, it would have went right through and his brain be mashed potatoes. Or part of it, at least. Or, ground meat. Anyway, Deku had to learn how to control that, which that's what they practiced on them 7 months too. Because it got to where, he was going there about 3 times a week the last 2 months, to be precise, of it. And he was going there for about 2 hours a day. It was Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. And he was missing a little bit of school on Wednesday because, well, no, he wasn't. He wasn't missing school at all. He was after school and everything. His psychiatrist put extra time into him because they understood what was going on. Anyway, within that time period, his little Titan cloud begun to grow a little bit of, like, little tiny bones in its hand. Nothing sharp, nothing yet, none of that. Just a couple, like, baby bones before the collars came out. It was just super, super tiny. But it was super lovable. It has his nature after all. So, Deku, by the way, I forgot to tell you, he's been a super genius since he was little. He spent his time, ever since he was little, within that time they found, well, by the time he was 6 and a half, which is when it ended, they then started to talk to him and realize that he's good at mechanics, history, everything. So they began to talk to him about doing stuff that would calm him down. Well, you say he began to build support items and stuff similar to that. That was something he was doing, but that'll be something for later. But to get to the end of it, Bakugo is still right now haunted by that memory. Deku is, but not as bad as he was. The Deku's learned how to make a few of them soldiers, 3 of them now, by the end of it. And once, while making 4 hands. Yeah, because he's been training. Because Bakugo has been training since that happened. A lot. And that's basically it for now. So he's 6.5. He's got 4 arms, or 4 energy arms, and he can produce 3 Titan clouds. That's... Oh, and he can move things in his mind. That's it for now. Oh yeah, he also can feel other people's emotions and help them with them. So take care. I hope y'all like this video.